Okay, what's up guys? So this video is for my peeps who care about the environment, who care about sustainability. There's so many reasons why people choose to eat 100% plant-based diet. One of them for animals' ethical suffering. Another big one, which is the reason why I initially decided to go plant-based, was because of environmental sustainability. And when I was brought to attention how many resources are going towards factory farming of meat agriculture and that entire industry, I was like, this is a no-brainer. I need to eat this way and put my dollars towards more plant-based living. And then of course, health reasons, because compared to the standard American diet or the SAD diet, plant-based eating can bring a bucket of benefits. So what I'm sharing in this video today is super controversial, but the reason why I feel like it's so important to share is because there's a lot of cognitive dissonance going around and going on. You know, I was plant-based, totally vegan for 4 years, and for me, I assumed that because I was eating plant-based, any kind of plant-based product I had automatically made me a more sustainable person. You know, I wasn't wasting resources, and little did I know that even the business and industry of, let's say, growing avocados is not only killing a ton of creatures and animals in the process, but it's also really not sustainable for the planet as well. When you take a huge plot of land and just grow one kind of crop, that's called mass monocrop agriculture, right? And the planet wasn't meant to have just one crop growing for miles, right? So factory farming of meat, not really sustainable, but monocrop agriculture, which is over exploding with the plant-based diet becoming more of a thing, and also all the plant-based products that are emerging like Beyond Meat, Impossible Burger, nut milks, nut butters, all of the things, you know, vegan cheese. It is really just like going through the roof. So for my people who are interested in actually making a difference with the planet, with your health, and where your dollars are going towards, this video is for you. If you know me, sustainability is huge. It not only drives how I run my business, but how I like to live my everyday life. You can ask my boyfriend. I literally yell at him every time he doesn't recycle properly or uses too much napkins or toilet paper or whatever it is. But that being said, I don't think it's just about our environmental footprint. It's also about our connection with this earth and with ourselves, which at the end of the day, we can only have that connection with ourselves if we have an innate, true connection with this earth. And that means eating primally, right? Breathing primally, moving how we were meant to move, that evolved us here today. So first, real quick, I'm going to address the lives of animals, and I also want to have a disclaimer that everyone has a very different belief on this, different spirituality, different understanding of energy, of frequencies, and this is going to have a huge play and factor in what we think of as pain, as animal rights, feeling pain, being sensitive, and realizing that all beings have different forms of frequencies. Plants run at a certain frequency. Animals run at a much higher frequency. We can probably relate to this boy over here a lot more than maybe a tree standing outside, so it'll probably kill us way more to see him, something happen to him, versus a tree maybe being chopped down or a leaf being pulled from it, right? Versus a hair being plucked off him, right? Kind of different, but also it's a different understanding. It's all in the mind when it comes to animal rights or animal life. Okay, now back to some common sense, some primal living theory, just kind of going back to our roots for a second. So we are animals, there's no denying that, and there's a lot of anthropological studies that actually show that eating meat is what helped us evolve our brains and our intelligence and got us to where we are, unlike a lot of our primate friends who are still eating mostly plant-based, which is keeping them in where they are right now. Now, regardless of that, there's animals out in the wild who are, you know, preys and predators of other animals, and we participated in that life cycle for so long. So there's no denying that we are omnivores, we were hunter and gatherers. Now with plants, on the other hand, plants are deeply rooted into the ground. Plants don't just live for a few years or even 30 years. Plants have the ability to live like even hundreds of years as long as they're watered and go with the seasons. Many trees are like that too. All right, so this is where we start getting into the sustainability, which blows my mind, and this is very intertwined with the lives of animals. But first I want to address water. No matter what, plants and animals are going to take a lot of water to grow. Now, the big argument and controversy is that to grow, let's say, a cow to the state until it gets killed to eat maybe takes up a lot more water than how much a plant takes, which, yes, is totally true. But think about how many plants you need that need to be watered, that need to be packaged, that need to all come together, all of those ingredients to get to the point where you can intake that. Here's actually a photo of what it looks like when I do a grocery run, one of my vegan grocery runs that I used to do, and how many different ingredients I need just to fulfill all of my nutrients for like a week. Okay, so now I'm gonna be showing you what I have in my fridge or our fridge and how much we eat just between 2 people and all of the ingredients we have. Pretty crazy. Okay, honestly, have never had a fridge so empty before, but literally this is all the ingredients we eat for the week. So primarily right now, eating fully grass-fed and finished ground beef, and then primarily these Vital Farms eggs. So literally mostly just eggs and beef, and then a few avocados a week. This chicken right here is for Duke, but besides that, I have like 1 zucchini and some blueberries for variety. I actually just got done with this yogurt right here, but besides that, super simple, nothing close to how full my cart was. Super quick, in case you're wondering, if you're thinking all I'm gonna eat is just beef and eggs. First of all, you can get your nutrients from all of that pretty much, but my plan is to go to the grocery store about once a week and then switch it up. So this time when I go to the grocery store, we're due to go to a grocery run, probably gonna pick up salmon, which I've been craving, and then maybe some lamb, which I really love. So we'll switch that up, but keeping it really simple and the most fresh as possible. So bringing this full circle back to sustainability and saving the lives of animals, this is what is literally blowing my mind. And if you haven't heard of this, there's this insane term or phrase, carnivore is vegan, but I'm gonna break it down for you and it actually made a lot of sense. So if you just walk into a Costco and see how many vegetables and fruits are being sold, it's an absurd amount. And it is very ignorant and kind of not cool of us to assume that not a single soul or creature is being hurt throughout this factory farming process, because not just animals are being factory farmed, but plants are being factory farmed. There's no way there's that much of an abundant excess of kale and avocados. And so all of those insects, those bugs, those rodents, those rabbits, even bigger creatures that are getting on the farmlands have to be killed in order to produce those beautiful plants that we eat. I know what you're thinking, because trust me, I not only know this, but I preached it for years, right? Like, but Sucha, what about all of the plants that are being grown and harvested literally to just feed the meat that we're eating? That like defeats the whole purpose. That's so unsustainable. And this is where I come at you with the solution, right? So first off, whenever you can, actually make it a point that you are only consuming grass-fed, grass-finished. And try to get meat. You can order it these days from a regenerative farm. We no longer live in our hunter-gatherer society, so we do need to spend a few extra dollars and go out of our way to order it. But that is ensuring that you're not only having the highest quality meat, but you're getting it from a farm that is working together like an ecosystem. There aren't any animals being killed because the grass, the animals that are there are working together to nourish the entire life cycle and food chain. Now, on the other hand, the animals that we do raise that are fed corn, soy, wheat, gluten, all of the random plants that are being farmed, first of all, that's not even what they're innately meant to eat. Second of all, that is really unsustainable, and that is where it is very, very just not harmful for the planet, but it's taking up our water sources. It's also why there's a literally $1 burger at McDonald's, or even a few dollar burger at other joints, right? And that is not normal. Meat is not meant to be that cheap. Meat is not meant to be that accessible. Again, we used to hunt for our meat. So there's a big gap here, and it's, again, ignorant for us to assume that meat should be cheap when in reality it's nourishing us so much, and there is a big life cycle that was behind this animal being raised to come to our plate. A few more things on plants that I researched that I just wanted to share. So I looked up some of the oldest plants. There's actually a colony of trees out in Utah in Fish Lake National Forest, and some of the trees there and the colonies are 80,000 years old. How crazy. They're that deeply rooted into the grounds. These are plants, guys. And, you know, fruits, they are seasonal, so they go dormant and then they flourish in the summer, and they want, you know, fruits want to be eaten, so they're there for us, but seasonal, of course. But even a peach tree, that is the shortest living fruit tree, and that still lives on average 15 years if nurtured well, let alone other trees that live for 30 years, 50 years, 75 trees. Persimmon trees are like 75-year-old trees. That's crazy. Like, my doggy is only gonna be like 12 years old, you guys. Like, it's fucking crazy. Okay, hang in with me. I'm getting a solution to you. For those of you looking to eat more meat, or for those of you already eating meat, I want to give you the most sustainable way to do it. This is really, really fascinating, but let's do the numbers first real quick. So the average cow is going to be bearing about 430 pounds of beef, and that's actually rounding down. I've seen a lot higher numbers, right? Especially if they're like fattened up. But let's say it's a fully grass-fed, like lean, healthy cow. And let's say the person is going to be eating about 1.5 pounds of beef per day. And that's a lot. I actually can't even eat a pound a day. That's like a lot. But let's just round up to 2 pounds. Maybe it's a big dude and he's eating 2 pounds of beef a day. That is going to, if you do all the numbers, that's going to be about just 2 cows an entire year. So only 2 animal lives, and that's actually going to give you more than 2 pounds of beef. So I could feed my dog, I could feed another person. All right, I'm exhausted. It's actually like humid here in Miami, so that was a lot. I can like literally smell my pits, but anyways, I had to get this off my chest. I had to share this with you guys because it's pretty insane, and there is a way that you can nourish yourself more, but also be in touch with the planet and also have a better environmental impact and not feel so guilty, because I felt so guilty for years. I like literally ate a certain way and experienced so many different things because out of guilt, and I really couldn't do that anymore. So I want to share this with you so we can relieve that guilt, so we can come back to our primal roots of living. There's literally a food that's out there that can give us all of the nutrients we need to, and that just makes sense. But this is how to do it the most sustainable way. This is how to save the most amount of animal lives and also feel your fucking best. All right, so much love. Thank you for listening. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it brought up just a new way of thinking about this. And if you have any thoughts, whether you agree, whether you disagree, whether it makes you mad, whether it makes you happy, whether it helps you with your approach towards maybe moving from plant-based to animal-based and doing it in a more regenerative way for the planet and your own health, let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, subscribe. It really supports just getting this message across and bringing forth this to the community. I share this in all of my videos, but one of my biggest goals is to get people to release guilt, because that's something that I held onto for so long, and it was not just damaging for my own health, but when your own health is suffering, then you are not able to bring forth your purpose and your happiness and your healing to the people around you, and that is the most important. So, thank you so much.